the Afghan dad, when the child told him, Dad, stop, it's a prank. And he had to say it in his language because his dad couldn't understand him in English because he was so angry. So he couldn't say it in English because his dad did speak English. But you know, some people, when they're so angry, they revert to their native tongue. And when they're so angry, their blood is boiling. They're not hearing you if you're speaking in English. So he had to say it to him, stop, 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 Dad, stop. And he had to say it in his native language because he would listen. And then he turned around and he said, Dad, sorry, look, it's a prank. I'm joking. I'm videoing you. And he was showing him, look, the camera's over there. But then his dad went mad because he goes, what? And he started swearing at him even more because he goes, what you mean you was pranking me and you're filming it? So he was beating him more. I was freezing out. I just thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine if he'd have hit him one, in his head and he knocked him out? He wouldn't have been able to tell him, Dad, this is a joke.
But that's a whole different side of it. You know, when you do jokes, there are jokes that...
You have to watch it, people, because I died. I just thought I was so funny. And the mother, there was an American mother. Oh my God, she was like, she didn't want to be bothered with him, and he's like, her son's coming over, and he's like, he's disturbing her. That's what the impression I was getting. She's like, what do you want? And he's going, I've got something to tell you, Mum. So she was like, okay, what is it? And then rather than tell her, he passed over his phone. And he said to her, look at this. So he showed her a text message supposedly from the girl that So she's read it, and she's looking at it, and she's looking at him, and she's looking at it, and she's like, what is this? And then she goes, okay, I don't really need to ask you what it is, because I can see what it is, and you know what it is. She goes, is this for real? She goes, are you seriously telling me this is what you got someone pregnant? Oh my God. See, as she's talking to him, she was starting to get annoyed, but she was very calm. And if you watch the video, as she's talking, she's very slowly pulling her belt off. But he didn't realise until it was too late. And then all of a sudden, he suddenly looks at her and he goes, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm going to whoop your ass! And he fell off the bed. He practically fell off the bed trying to get away from her, right? Because she was beating him.
But see, that's the thing. When we're, and I like it because it's giving us true representation of the thought process of a person. Because I don't think I would beat, and that's what they were doing. They were not spanking them. They were beating them.
They're teenagers. Okay? It's not like it's a little child, a 2-year-old, and you're going to tell him don't do that. No, right. This is a teenager, 16 years old or whatever, and their parent is still ready to take a broom handle to them, or a mop handle, or a belt. Their parent was so upset and so incensed. They were ready to take that to them, and they maybe probably haven't beaten them like that if ever, or in years. But they decided, they were like, you did this, and I am going to make you know that is just so not on.
Well, but as a parent, I can see from my standpoint that I'm so upset because I've had instances when I was really, really upset with my sons, plural. And I have had that momentary, and it is a momentary insanity. I don't care what anybody says. It is a momentary insanity to where your brain clicks off. And your brain basically goes into, I don't believe this, and you just explode.
I just can't believe what you're telling me.
I don't believe this is happening. I don't believe this. You're telling me this. And people that know me, especially my lovely wife and my children, they would prefer I'm more verbal when I'm upset, because when I'm calm, that is a whole level of insanity within me.
Because he was calm. A lot of them were calm, and then he went off. Now Julian, that was calm. He was cussing him, but he was calm. So the boy was sitting there, and he's like, "Yeah, I love her, Dad." And he goes, "What?" He said to him, "You're going to end up in McDonald's." He goes, "You've got no GCSEs, no GCSEs. You're going to end up in McDonald's. I'm telling you." He's telling him he has to move out. He goes, "You have to move out tonight." He's going, "Where am I going to go, Dad?" He goes, "I don't care."
I don't care, but you're out of here.
Yeah, you're out of here. He goes, "If you think you're a big man enough to go and get someone pregnant, then you better move out because you can't stay here." He was cussing him out. Oh my God, I nearly died. I was just sitting there thinking, can you imagine? And this, remember, it's a prank. People, it's not even true. They have decided that they want to try and prank their parents over this. Can you imagine?
Well, but I think that's something. It's this world we live in, this viral universe. And when you see one person doing it, like, those people, they do the bucket challenge and other stuff that happens. Well, man, okay, let me see what my parents would do. Somebody is going to be talking from a hospital room. At the beginning of the tape, I'm in the hospital because my dad, I was paying for Frank, and then they play the prank part. It's like, okay. Okay.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I don't know anyone who's brave or stupid, should we say, enough to go prank their child, prank their parent like that. You got to have some serious. No, I wouldn't do that. Especially I wouldn't. I don't think I would have done that with my mum because you just know you would maybe you live. Tell her after she beat you, you'd be running like, okay, let me just run away. I ain't even got time to tell her nothing because she ain't listening now. I've upset her so much that she's on her own planet. So I can't even get through to her to say, no, mum, this is a joke. This is a joke. She'd be like, what kind of joke? This ain't no joke. I ain't joking with you.
Well, but you couldn't get out as quickly at that time frame because we didn't have cell phones and things of that nature. So you couldn't say, hey, there's a camera. There wasn't a video camera in my house. So there was no way I would have gotten my parents to believe I was joking, period.
No, that's right. You look here. These days, these kids, they do take their life into their own hands when they do these things. I died, and I nearly died again. I was laughing so much. I'm just thinking, oh my God, you really took your life into your hands because that could have ended up badly for you. If you didn't get a chance to say, Dad, I'm joking. You know, you could have been, he was telling him, the police are coming here tonight. You have to move out. he was telling him all sorts of things. The Afghan dad was jumping over the chairs trying to get to his son to beat him.
Well, if I know that you bet that they're going to have to call the police because I'm going to get you. If I'm that mad.
Yeah, you best come out because it's all got. Listen, it's all over. You need to come out because you may not survive to see your next birthday. Let's just put it like that.
But that's the thing, that the difference in cultures. There are things that we do here in the States that are different from what you do in the UK and different from what people do in Austria or in Australia or whatever. It is the cultures, even though we're in a global world, we're in a global media world where I can see something that's happening in the UK right now. I can see something happening in Australia. It's still a difference in culture as to, how children are brought up.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's a funny way to look at it because obviously this is, again, for today's show. I mean, I'm sure there are stereotypes about the different cultures, but obviously some of the things are true as well. Mm-hmm. That you would probably more likely to be getting a whooping in a black family, for example, than you would in another. But then again, it depends on what you've done and how that parent raise, how their parenting technique is as well. Because they might say, "Listen, I don't care. You're getting a beating, and you're going to know about it." So I'm just curious to know because again. Do people see? There's always all these laws now about you can't spank your children and you can't do this and you can't do that. And I ain't being funny, but I think that it's a personal thing because again, you know your child and you know what threshold you got before you lose it. Your child and how much you lose it as well. Because again, it depends on what they've done, right? So you just think, okay, would I spank them or should I spank them or how should I spank them or how should I discipline them? There's all these things and you have to ask yourself because you won't know. In my mind, you won't know until you're in the moment kind of thing. So I do worry about that. It's something that I've just sitting there thinking, wow, because the next thing I wanted to share, K-Rose, oh my God, it's really, see, in having fun with what we've just been talking about, the next article is actually quite serious because I'm wondering how would a parent feel if their child turned on them and started to try and physically abuse them. That's a whole new ball game, isn't it?
I can't even see it ball game for me.
Well, yeah. But because that's one of the storylines that we've got over here at the moment on one of our famous soaps, Coronation Street. Obviously, everyone in the UK, you know what that is. And Leanne, who's the stepmother, her stepson, Simon, he's only 12, and he has been like physically abusing her. Obviously, he wasn't hitting her. Well, he sort of pushed her. He's not pushed her over. And so she's hurt her head. She pushed her over again. She hurt her leg. People started looking at her thinking she's abused, like she's got a partner, a husband or something who's beating her up. And it wasn't. It was him, 12 years old. But he's quite tall, obviously, for his age. And obviously, as kids get older, he doesn't realise his own strengths as well. But they're saying that he was bullied. And see, this is what I want to know. What do you think? He has been bullied recently in the soap by two girls. So obviously he's had a lot of problems as well because his dad's an alcoholic and he's had lots of things happen to him, which is how he ended up with his stepmom. But is that an excuse? Because he's only 12 again. Is that an excuse for him to get so angry that he's taking it out on his step-parent?
Well, see, I think there's always two things. There are excuses and reasons.
Okay.
And I think in this occurrence, that storyline is giving a reason as to why he's acting out against her. And it's because the reason he has been bullied is what they're doing as far as the storyline. So I think they're saying, hey, watch your children. If they're being bullied, it may cause them to be a bully, which I think really is something that's been found true.
Yeah.
And so it really is, but it's sad.
Yeah.
And to me, I would have never thought of doing anything to my mother or my father as far as physically bullying them or anything.
Yeah. But he's really starting to, and he keeps telling her, I'm not going to do it again, I'm not going to do it again. And then he'll get angry and then he starts, squaring up to her. And it just made me realise, again, what would somebody do if they had a child who was trying to do that to them? Because I can never, again, obviously I grew up in care, but even with my natural parent, I just cannot even begin to comprehend trying to do that. Okay, I must say, my foster mother, she did say that one of her foster children, or her brother and sister, they used to kick her and stuff. They did attack her once or twice. But I just couldn't imagine myself doing that. I would rather walk away from you and just try and get away from you. I'm just not that type of person. I have too much respect for my elders to want to lay hands on them. Do you see what I mean? I just don't think that you need to do that. But I just don't think that would be. Oh God, I can't imagine a black parent, whether it's African, West Indian, whatever. I just can't imagine that ever happening. They will tell you, listen, I brought you into the world, I'm going to knock you out. Imagine you telling them that I'm going to beat you up or trying to push them over. I just can't see it.
Well, I think it happened sometimes from a child's standpoint, depending on how his father treats his mother. And there are times when the father is abusing the mother and the child is learning that type relationship or those type actions from how the father, or it could be even the mother. Our mothers have been known to abuse their husbands. So
exactly. Yeah.
So it's what they are taught and what is accepted in their family. There are things that you saw in your foster parents' home that you saw as what the world was. Okay, this is normal because I'm seeing it every day, and so to me that's normal.
Or you may look at it and think, okay, I'm seeing this, but I'm not going to do this,
right?
Because I don't like it.
And that's the other part of it. You do have a choice. Do you do what you see, or do you look at it and say, I'll never do that? There is, because I was in a home where there was a lot of alcohol, drank by my father. And so my thing was, I'm never going to get to a stage to where I'm like that, rest his soul. I mean, I learned from that. It's nothing to say, to speak bad of him and his, he's not around, but it's something I learned. Hey, I'm not going to be that way. I'm not going to get to a point to where I lose control and I'm angry or yelling because of alcohol. I'm not ever going to be like that.
No, I mean, I've sent you some pictures as well. I love to send pictures. I try and find things for the show and then I end up getting carried away because the topics are so interesting and stuff. But there was a couple where, and you just saying that, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, the saying is, it is easier to build up a child than it is to repair an adult. Choose your words wisely.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. But then, on the other hand, I looked around and I thought, okay, hold on. Because it's true, I think. Parents can only give good advice or put them on the right paths, but the final forming of a person's character lies in their own hands, which was apparently a quote by Anne Frank.
Oh,
so I looked at that and I thought, that's interesting too. Because, as we just said, you see what you see, but does that mean you are going to keep doing the same thing, perpetuating the cycle almost with your children and your children will see that and do that with the grandchildren? You can be the one to break the cycle in it and say, okay, I didn't love that and I'm not going to do that with my kids and I'm going to steer away from what was done to me. So it's that crossroads, isn't it, when you become a parent, whether you do what was done to you or whether you move in a completely different direction. And I've seen certain people where they have kids and they'll say, this is all I know, so I can't change it. Or they'll say, I went through X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to do completely opposite thing because I know how I felt when my parent or parents did X, Y, and Z or ignored me. I'm not going to do that to my kids, whatever it is, or beat me to within an inch of my life or whatever it is. They decide they're changing